Hello, and welcome back for another episode of Craven Some Raven. Do you have a fever? Is the only prescription some more Raven? That's what I'm here for. I'm just here to talk Ravens. Today, what I'm going to talk about is the edge defender. Yeah, I know we lost a guy, a little old man by the name of Terrell Suggs, and a guy named Za'Darius Smith. Everyone knew he was going to be gone, but Terrell Suggs not so much. And there's some stuff about Terrell Suggs that's going to be missed. An outside linebacker, a three-down guy who can do it against the run and the pass. Someone who shouldn't come off the field unless he's tired and needs some prune juice because he's old. So, what I'm going to be doing is kind of like my wide receiver episode. I'm going to draft an edge defender in each and every single round. One in each round. I know the Ravens don't have a second round, but I'm doing that. I'm going to be picking different players that I hope the Ravens target and or I'd just be okay with if they got them in those rounds. So like first round guy, like I'd be cool with them if they got him in the first round. My seventh round guy, like, if you're going for an edge defender in the seventh round, here's your guy, maybe, possibly. So, with that being said, before I actually get into my picks, I gotta, take care of some business. Gotta make that moolah, that cheddar. Throw some cheddar on my potatoes, because I have a sponsor. And today's episode is brought to you by JesusWood.com. Recently, archaeologists found a hidden cave in the Middle East, 2 miles from where Saddam Hussein was hiding, containing real, authentic, genuine wood pieces crafted by your Lord and Savior. There's a wide range of items to choose from. We have coffee tables, stools, coasters, even sunglasses to beat those desert rays, and much, much more. So whether you're a fan of BC century design or Jewish boys dressed like a Jedi, be sure to visit JesusWood.com to order your holiest of wooden pieces today. Now, I didn't really believe this at first. This isn't part of the read, but I went to that website, and they have legit, wooden stuff made by Jesus. They had like some sundials. It was crazy. I saw there was this camel carving with the Hebrew phrase underneath it. Oh, sorry. Had to clear my throat. A Hebrew phrase named which apparently translated to hump day. So man, Jesus was hilarious. An excellent carpenter. Really just beautiful work. And I'm surprised, it really just goes to show how good he was at what he did. For the pieces to still be like pristine, Like the coffee table that I saw online, it looked in perfect condition. He must have been using those coasters that they're also selling. Anyways, go check it out. Some really, really good stuff there. They said buy now because their prices on Easter will be rising. And is that a joke? I don't get it. So great ad, good stuff there. Checking them out, guys. I don't know what's on JesusWood.com. I should probably look it up, see what actually comes up. Give me 1 sec. I'm not gonna pause this. I'm gonna instant reaction. JesusWood.com. Oh, you can buy it. You can finance the domain. I mean, it's a real company, and this is a real ad. They actually paid me, but this is the joking part. JesusWood.com is for sale for $1,295. Huh, good stuff. How do you sell? Who's in charge of selling domains? Can I resell it? Can you sublease a domain? Anyways, I'm way off topic. Great ad. Check them out. JesusWood.com. So, getting back to football, why you came here. Are you craving some Raven? You're not sure what the Ravens are going to do in the draft? Are you mad that Terrell Suggs is gone? Well, I got the answers for you in each and every goddamn round. Who the Ravens should pick to replace Terrell Suggs. I don't know if I've said this already. I just think, with Terrell Suggs, you lose a pass rusher and an excellent run stuffer. And I believe Tim Williams and Tyus Bowser can supplant his pass rush ability, at least. I don't really know about the run against the run ability because they would only go in on passing downs. I would like to see them go in for maybe even a full series. Whoa, that'd be crazy. A full drive, so we can actually see how good they are, not just 2 plays at a time. Yeah, that would be great. But I think what the Ravens are missing on this roster is a outside linebacker, edge defender, whatever you want to call it, a guy who's good against the run, equally as good against the run as pass. Someone who can hold their own, someone where they move the offensive lineman where he wants to go, and when the defender needs to, just rips and goes. Pulls down the lineman and is ready to get upfield, get after the quarterback, or get after the running back. Just set the edge. We need some edge setters, bro. So, getting into it, my first round guy, I have Clelin Ferrell. Now, he's not the best pass rush. He's not even the best against the run, I don't think. But looking at his tape, he is the perfect combination of both. And if you've listened to my other podcast, I had a dream that the Ravens selected him at 22. So I almost kind of have to put him here. But I really liked what I saw from him. His only knock is that he's not a natural bender. It's like, well, he unnaturally still made sacks and held his own in the run game. And I could see him falling down to 22 if people like the upside of some of these other edge rushers, who are typically listed behind him on the edge defender department, like Brian Burns. I think some places have Montez Sweat above him. We're gonna go Rashawn Gary. Some of these other guys where it's all upside. I think Clelin Ferrell can. Sorry, I was trying to read this and talk at the same time. It's kind of not easy to do that, and I wasn't even looking at stuff for Clelin Ferrell, but just after watching his tape, it's super consistent. Did it on the best team in the nation. Whether you think Alabama should have won or Clemson, they finally got theirs. But, hey, he did it on the best defense against the best competition. And, Jonah Williams is one of the best tackles, or the best offensive lineman coming out in this draft. And Clelin Ferrell, in that national championship game, held his own and really made him look like a little bitch on certain plays. Really took it to him. And that didn't happen to Jonah Williams ever this whole year. So good stuff from Clelin Ferrell. If he falls, I think we'd be a fool not to snatch him up. Because out of all of these guys, I think he's the most likely to just come in, step in day one. Oh shit, well, we don't need Terrell Suggs anymore because we got this fool. We got this kid. Seems like a good locker room guy. Real nice dude. Doesn't seem to have any issues. So, getting on to my next guys. Second round, I have Zach Allen out of Boston College. And I really like Zach Allen as a player. I think his upside is just as good, if not better, than Clelin Ferrell. And I think he'll be there in the second round. If we decide to trade back, I think he could be there. And I think we would have to take this guy. Just watching tape recently, he's one of the guys that I kind of like, my draft darlings that I kind of fallen in love with as a prospect. Big, physical. when I talked about him, I described him as a white Terrell Suggs because his game is exactly like Terrell Suggs's game, like towards the end there. Like doesn't use speed, but uses power. Really gets up inside the tackle, and then uses his hands at full extension, and then decides what he wants to do. He can either rip, just keep that bull rush going, or push off and get into the flat. Because I saw him, he batted a bunch of balls down in the flat, had some interceptions, and seeing him play against Clemson, he came to play. High effort dude, really disruptive against really good competition. So just excellent stuff from him. Seems like a good leader, and just doesn't get manhandled. That's what I'm looking for. Someone who can pass rush and just doesn't get manhandled in the run game. Holds up the block, because you don't have to knife in every play to be a hero and make a play, because players who do that, they end up, the running back they create a hole when they do that, And I think Zach Allen, man, he's just a fucking brick wall. You ain't getting around him. I mean, you can run past him. His pursuit isn't the best, if I'm gonna give him a knock, but I think second round player, you're getting a hell of a quality starter and probably a future star, if I'm guessing. I just really liked how many, those splash plays, like the interceptions. That's something that he can bring to the table. So, next on my list, the third round. Now, this one was kind of a stretch. I don't know if he's going to make it to the third round, but I have Charles Omenihu from Texas. Now, he might end up being a second-round guy, or maybe like beginning of the third, so I figured I could probably sneak him in there. We didn't really have a beginning in the third pick, but I really like Charles Omenihu. This is one of my first draft guys, first guys I was impressed with and really liked in the draft. Someone who's not a first-round guy, but I think will have great success in this league. Because I said it before, but I originally found him just by watching tape of people playing Texas. I was looking at different wide receivers or running backs, and they were playing Texas, and I just kept hearing Charles Omenihu. He was just making plays consistently every single game. And I didn't even have to watch his tape. I was watching other people's tape, and he is the one that's showing up, the name that just keeps coming up. And then he goes to the Senior Bowl and balls out. He's just excellent in the run game. They had him listed as a 5 technique, but he was playing outside, hand in the ground. So, yeah, Cleveland, I think all three of these guys that I've talked about already, they've been mostly hand in the ground, just occasionally standing up. But getting back to Omenihu, yeah, I really liked his ability, making plays. That's what you need, right? There's no perfect prospect. He's not winning every single down. I don't think any of these guys really are. I think Clelin Ferrell's the closest to someone who you'd say isn't, not so much winning every down, but not losing. He's not losing every down. Zach Allen a little bit less, and then Charles Omenihu a little bit less, but he makes just splash plays. Making tackles in and around the line of scrimmage, getting sacks, punching the ball out, getting his hands on the football. And just, it's just crazy, not watching his tape and then just hearing his name. I'm not even paying attention to you, bro, but you're making me pay attention to you. I like what you saw. And yeah, like I said, in Senior Bowl, excellent stuff there. So I think he opened up some eyes and probably picked up his draft stock. And you know how the Ravens love their Senior Bowl guys, so he might not make it to the third round. Maybe if the Ravens drafted him in the second round, I'd be okay with that, in all honesty. I just really thought that he had more of a chance to get to the third than Zach Allen would. Oh, sorry. So next, fourth round, The Ravens' golden round. Yes. The Ravens. They need to pick this guy in this round. If not, pick him in the third. I don't give a fuck. You need this guy on your team. Chase Winovich, out of Michigan. The bro's bro. Man. He plays with heart. Plays with effort. White boy can pass rush. Great against the run. You know, he's just a little bit, he's like Zach Allen, but just smaller. So he can get pushed around at times. But man, you know, that Harbaugh connection, that's another positive. But dude, this guy, he's, you know, the Ravens have those Red Star kind of guys. I think this guy is going to be one of the Red Star players. He just seems like a cool dude, man. I saw, like, this morning I woke up and flipped on like YouTube, and there was a live stream of Good Morning Football. You know, I don't think it's legal that they're doing that, but you know, they fuck it, who cares? They're streaming it, and they were doing an interview with him, and man, he gives a good interview. They're like asking him different questions, and he just went on and just kept talking. Like, it's just like, yeah, man, what's up? Just hanging out, boys. And I really like that. He'd be a good locker room guy. You know, in the interviews, you're going to get great sound bites. But that's not really why you need him. Why you need him is for what he does on the football field. And goddamn, this dude can play. Man, yeah. I think he is basically Clay Matthews. Like what Clay Matthews was coming out. Just a little bit smaller. And, you know, that whole play like a Raven phrase, that's what he does. And, man, I just really like his swag across the field. Like, that's what you need, man. In your defensive players, we need some guys with some attitude. It's about goddamn fucking time. I'm tired of the, like, boring players that the Ravens keep drafting. You know, this past year, not so much, but we need guys with some sort of fucking moxie about him, you know? Like, I just get crazy. Not as crazy as Judon. You know, don't get the flags. But you know what? I think I'd almost rather have the excitement of someone who's balling out, getting wild, and taking the flag. I'd rather have the flags than someone who's just boring. I mean, I'll take it. I don't care. I think you need, you know, that hype-up factor. You know, we just haven't had those guys. Like Chase Winovich is one of those guys. And I think, yeah, so like Zach Allen, Charles Omenihu, Chase Winovich, these are my three favorite. Like, if they could make this pick in any one of these rounds, holla holla Bills, y'all. Then we in business, son. Like, Chase Winovich, he's not going to, I don't think he's going to replace a guy. He's not going to be a 3-down guy as much as like a Cleveland Farrell or Zach Allen would have been, but he's going to be your, you know, come in and spell everybody along the edge there. So, you know, come in and replace Matt Judon or Tim Williams or Tyus Bowser at any point, and you're not going to have a drop off in ability. So, next guy, Porter. I have Porter Gustin out of USC. Another Cali bro, white Cali bro. Now this guy, you know, watching him, he's definitely got a high ceiling when it comes to pass rush. Excellent pass rusher. Better than Chase Winovich, better than Charles Omenihu. But against the run, you know, kind of meh. So that's kind of why I think he's going down into the 5th round. You know, he's kind of rated on a lot of big boards in that range anyways. But, man, the upside on his pass rush is very good. You know, like I said, I was trying to replace Terrell Suggs, but I think, you know, down 5th through 7th round, you're really just looking for traits. And, man, Porter Gustin, he gets after it. He gets after it in the pass rush department. And he uses multiple different moves, like a swim, like a rip and dip, bold rush. He uses all those things, and he will get to the quarterback in a hurry. Like, it's crazy. Like, sometimes you'll see the whole line, like, stacked up together, and all of a sudden you see, who the 45. Who is that? Oh, Porter Gustin just squirting out and then trying to make a play. Just super disruptive in the passing game. But man, in the run game, just he does not look good. It's like I don't know what it is about the run game, because it looks like he's trying to use his like pass rush moves, but for whatever reason, the O linemen they just fuck him up when it comes to the run game. It just is what it is. If we pick up this guy, he's gonna make the team as a pass rush specialist, because that's what he's good at, and he's very good at it. So in the 5th round, if you can get someone who is consistent at getting out to the passer, only allowing like 3 seconds on like the quarterback's clock, I think that's all we need. We don't need somebody to get a sack in half a second. We need high effort guys, which he is. All these guys are high effort guys. I didn't pick anybody who's not high effort. That's one of my main things. I probably should have said that at the start, but we need high effort guys, because if you don't win on your first move, I think our corners, our secondary is going to be good enough to hold up that extra little bit amount of time, so that way they can get to their second move, or they can get to their second effort on the pass rush. And I think we're going to get a ton of sacks that way, coverage sacks. But if you're not trying, if you're not putting any effort, it's less likely you're going to get those. So that was a main thing for mine, and he got quite a few of those, just pure effort sacks. Yeah, all these guys really did. But his first move, like when he does a swim or a rip, excellent, beautiful. Like, it's a thing of beauty sometimes, like watching his tape. But it's just, man, that run game is atrocious. So, in the 6th round, Ravens fans are going to like this one. People of Maryland, rejoice, because we're getting Jesse Aniabonum. I really don't know how to say his last name. I didn't watch a lot of Maryland football this year. I don't like watching college football. I like watching tape, because I like the NFL, and I like seeing what they'll do. And because I work most Saturdays, so I don't really get to watch them. Anyways, so this is the outside linebacker, pass rusher, edge guy out of Maryland. And I just, the way I watch tape is, like, I'll go into YouTube and, like, type in the name and look up and just put VS, like versus, and usually something will come up. There's always tape against different teams on every single guy, from your first round high-end talent all the way down to, who is that? There's tape on everybody. But for whatever reason, I couldn't find like specific game tape for him. But looking at his highlights, and he's rated down like real low, especially amongst edge rushers, like as low as like undrafted type people. But man, I saw high effort. I saw some swag. I saw some pass rush ability. Super quick. Oh, real fast. Super fast. There's a bunch of plays like where he's chasing down a guy. There's one he chased this dude down like 30 yards down the field. Now that's effort. And yeah, a lot of plays like NFL, college, what the offense does is they leave that backside defender unblocked, because they think they can find the hole and do whatever they need to do quicker than you can diagnose what the play is, what that edge defender, like quicker than the edge defender can diagnose the play and then get to the ball carrier or quarterback, depending. And so a lot of the times the defender is just kind of like left in no man's zone, just kind of ends up like standing there, not knowing what to do. And this guy, my boy Jesse, a lot of time he's quick enough, fast enough that he chased down from the backside quite a bit and made the tackle in like at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, a little bit past it, being the only one there, but made plays, like being that no man in that no man's land that seems to get everybody. So excellent stuff from him, and I just liked his swag on the field, making a tackle, getting excited, right as the whistle's blowing, shove the quarterback a little bit. Yeah, I know that causes flags, but if you get away with it, that sort of attitude, that little pop, that's something you need on your team and in the locker room. It's something you won't. It's something you won't. So, last but not least, but mostly least, in the 7th round, I have Max Crosby. And he went to... where did he go? Let me check. He went to Eastern Michigan. The best school in all the lands. I really didn't get to see all of these guys. I kind of just did this today. I wasn't too... I'm not too knowledgeable on all of the edge defenders, especially when it comes to these smaller school guys. Just watching very little bit of everybody. I will have some other people I want to talk about, but I decided to put him as a 7th round guy because I was thinking about other people. But I ended up with him, and he's kind of like a skinny white boy, real dangly. But man, he's got a great first step. I'm talking excellent. In the 2 games that I watched, man, his first step, he'll beat you, and he'll be in the backfield before you even know it. So that it's just that upside is something that you can sneak onto the team as a 7th rounder with that kind of stuff. And what I saw a lot from him and what made me decide to go with him as my 7th round guy is he got his hand on the ball. He did that peanut on Wasu, punched the ball out, same technique, just straight up, bow, right on the ball, pop the ball out. I saw, in the 2 games I watched, I saw him cause 3 or 4 fumbles. Can't remember if it was 3 or 4. I honestly just can't remember. And that's something that's going to get you on the team and get you some playing time. He's kind of skinny for the position, but he's got the height, so he's going to have to hit the weight room. But he's a 7th rounder. That's what he's probably going to end up, being on the roster, just hitting the weight room. That's all you got to do this year. Don't do anything but hit the weight room, get bigger. Because man, he's got technique. He's excellent with his hands. Excellent in effort, always running, sprinting every single play, gets his hand on the football, quick first step, but just a little bit too skinny. He's kind of funny when you're watching his tape, just because he is kind of skinnier and gangly. He doesn't look small skinny, but how top end talent like Brian Burns. Sometimes how he can look, flailing around a little bit. Yeah, he's one of those dudes. Everything just looks over animated. His arm movements, the leg movements, looks all dangly and over exaggerated. It's kind of funny looking when you watch him, but man, he it's just such a beautiful play when you see the defender just straight up punch a dude in the chest and the ball comes flying out. Just beautiful stuff. That's why in the 7th round, I would not be mad if they picked this guy up. Take a flyer on him. Even if he's just a pass rush specialist. I think if you can get something that can help your team in the 7th round, which is what I think this guy can do, that's excellent. Don't draft players who are just guys. Draft players who you think can make the team and add a specific skill set. And when it comes to 7th round players, that's what you're looking at, man. You're looking at very specific things. So, that being said, some honorable mentions or some players I kind of want to talk about is Austin Bryant, the other Clemson defensive end. His ceiling's just as high as Clelin Ferrell. His floor is just a little bit lower, I think. He's more likely to bust and not be playing. But I would really like him in the 4th round if he's there. I'm just not sure if he's going to be there in the 4th round. I think someone might fall in love with, the Clemson defensive lineman, the one who's just not talked about as much. But, he's got excellent bend, great natural pass rusher, more so than Clelin Ferrell. Can still hold his own in the run game, just not as much as Clelin Ferrell. But, it's like Clelin Ferrell, he's like the perfectly balanced kind of edge defender, I think. You know, you ever see like those create a player type things on video games, or they got like the hexagon or the pentagon or whatever of all the different skills, and you could see where they're deficient and where they're excellent. You know, I think he's just that perfect hexagon. Cleveland Farrell is that perfect hexagon. But Austin Bryant, he's more towards pass rush, more towards speed, but a little bit less towards run game and that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I would still like that pick. And then another guy, Jalen Ferguson. I just don't know what to think of him, man. Like he's got the numbers, you know. I think he broke Terrell Suggs's sack record for FBS. But just watching his tape, he's slow or no effort. It's hard to tell. So when he wants to, he can just turn it on. That's not something you want. It's really not something I look for. Like I told you before, effort's one of those things. But you know, one of Ozzie Newsome's favorite phrases, you know, or like production's production, or what's the? And I heard Daniel Jeremiah talking about it, and like pass rush or sacks always equate. Like if you can sack them at any level, no matter who you're playing, you can do it in the pros. That's something that always translates. The ability to actually get to the quarterback and sack the quarterback is something that translates no matter what. And so if this guy is breaking records, he's going to be good. But it's, man, how far is he going to fall? What round is he going to go? Small school guy with all that production, but looks like he's not playing hard. You know? So that's a name, and so you watch out for that. You know, I've seen people talk about it in the first round and the second round. You know, if he's in the fourth round, I say go for it. But will he make it that far? I don't know. And, you know, I haven't seen everybody, obviously. Haven't seen everybody on this list. Another guy I kind of like, Ben Banogu. I liked his swag, but sometimes he just seemed like he just wasn't in the play. Like if the play goes to the other side, I like to see some sort of effort, or you know, I just like to see someone who's competing. You know, someone who not just like looking to make an effort, but you know, is always he's pushing up against the other player. And he would just, sometimes I'd see him, he would just lock up with the, just ate some food, so I think everything's coming back up. Oh god, the boips. Ben Banogu, he would just get locked up with the offensive lineman, and it seems like, do you not know how to get off? Like, you know, just get off of him, bro. Just he would get locked up. Didn't really like that. Trying to see what Carl Granderson. He was the other guy that I was thinking about putting in the 7th round. Carl Granderson out of Wyoming. You know, big, fast, physical. Just went to Wyoming, small school, but very high effort, always sprinting. You know, that'll get you on the roster. That's some stuff you're going to look for. He's going to make it on someone's roster. You know, just that smaller school, high effort guy. You know, better against the run than the pass, I would say. So, when it comes to small school, everyone's looking for the sacks. Fucking motorcycles. God damn it. So, just thought I'd mention his name as well. I didn't really see anybody else that I thought was worth mentioning. Obviously, didn't look at everybody. But, with that being said, that's going to do it, you know. So, you know, if the Ravens drafted any of these guys in those specific rounds, and or if they drafted any of those guys around lower than I expect, or I guess higher, you know, if they drafted these guys in a later round than what I had them doing it, I'd be glad with that too. So just to run it down again, in the first round edge defender the Ravens should target, I have them taking Clelin Ferrell. In the second round, they should target Zach Allen. In the third, target Charles Omenihu. In the fourth, we got Chase Winovich, ya boy. Fifth round, Porter Gustin. I keep wanting to think Gustafson. It's just Porter Gustin. What a fucking white dude. This is the whitest name I've ever heard. It's not like... and then sixth round, Jesse Aniabonim out of Maryland. You maybe might know his last name better than I do. Just because I'm in Albuquerque, so I love Maryland football. I love basically Maryland everything, just because that's where I was born and raised for most of my life. Just being out here, even on TV, I don't get the Maryland games ever. I have to stream them, and like I said before, I work Saturdays, so I really just can't be streaming while I'm working. But I want to be watching more Maryland football. Who's the wide receiver they got now? Yeah, they got a good wide receiver now. He's going to be the next great Maryland wide receiver to come out that the Ravens don't draft. Then seventh, Max Crosby. So, if you enjoyed this, you like what you're hearing, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the podcast. It's on all platforms. If you're listening to it on YouTube, it's on all platforms. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, basically all of them. And yeah, so just support the show, man. You can join me on Patreon at CSR Pod. That's spelled CSRPOD. And I'll get you a shout out every episode. Or you want to make a one-time donation, your boy needs money. You can send me a donation on Venmo at CSR Pod. That's spelled CSRPOD. Or if you want to get in touch with me, you want to become a sponsor for whatever reason, like JesusWood.com. Or if you just want to tell me that I'm dumb, or if you want to tell me that I'm doing a great job, or if you just have any sort of question, comment, or concern, just send me an email at csrpod@gmail.com, spelled CSRPOD. I'll get back to you. I'm not busy. I work all the time, but I have time to check my email and send it back. I'm not crazy busy. I'm not like some of these other people. I'll get back to you. So with that being said, I'll leave you with that. Hope you enjoyed the list, and go Ravens. Let's get ready for this 2019 season. Let's go. All right, later dudes and ladies.